resume tailoring website. So here's the front page again. You've seen this. No big deal. I'll probably tweak this a little bit. Also, just remember, I'm probably going to change this name. Some recruiter, I think, saw a job application and he was being a dick and stole this name. So, I mean, there's no big deal. I can change this, but not going to probably have that name because someone else stole the domain name. And then you now have your resume information here, and the big thing that you have now is a skills management tab. And in the skills, these are like skills that you have, and these are skills that you don't have. Now I've done a lot of testing here, so I need to clean this up. I do have some of these skills, but anyways, you can toggle some of these skills on to always show on your resume, and you can toggle them to. Actually, it helps if you do this. If you sort it by name and then you toggle. So if I want this to always show on every resume that I create new, I can click that. But if I don't want it to always show up, I can click it and it just turns off like that. And then, of course, other things. Now, I did some refactoring of the code. Refactoring means I took like a large file and broke it up into smaller files. So some of this stuff here is kind of broken right now, but it's not a big fix. You took one step back, take two steps forward. So I really wanted to show you the Tailor resume though, because in there, that's where we're now exporting it, and it looks pretty nice. And that was actually pretty difficult. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go to the dashboard, and we can create a new resume here. So I'm gonna make this I am poor resume. I'm gonna save this as a new resume. Now here's a current problem right now. After I save the resume, I should be able to export it, but I can't, so I gotta work on that. So for now, I'm gonna go and reload it from here, and now it works. So that's just a stateful issue I have to work through. I'm going to use this next week to apply for jobs, and as I use this, I'll find little bugs like that I'll fix along the way. So it's not quite ready to be beta tested yet because there's still bugs I can find and fix, but I'd say maybe in a week I'll be ready for some beta testers if I get the deployment up. Okay, so all right, so most of this hasn't changed. You can change, in theory, you can change the template, but I'm building everything for Classic right now. In theory, you can change the font, you can change the color, you can change the order of things if you want. You can change what's visible down here. Right now, I just have a few skills. I don't even have Java, so I'm gonna get rid of that. And actually, I'm gonna get rid of these buttons right here because that doesn't need to be here anymore. So some little tweaks to do still. I don't think we're gonna have the copy either. I guess you could copy the. I'm not gonna get rid of this. You can't copy it. You can export it to PDF. If you copy it, it's gonna be a nightmare pasting it like Word or something. So I don't think I'm gonna have the copy. But let's go ahead and do a Tailor resume and show you how it works, and then export it so you can see. Those are, I guess, the two main things. So you can go to any type of job, and I got this one right here. So we're just gonna. Actually, let's pick a new one. I've been testing a lot with this. Let's pick a new one. I don't know. This looks pretty vague. Is there any job information here? Okay, here we go. So the idea would be you just anywhere, I guess you would copy this job description. So this is not very clean, so this will be an interesting one to try. Not quite as clean as I would like it to be. But we'll go ahead and paste that in there, and let's see if it can analyze it. So what's going on in the back end right now is it's looking through that job description using an agentic workflow. Agentic means it's using generative AI, like OpenAI, to kind of reason and think about things. So it's reasoning, and now it's deciding, okay, the user has these skills, this job requires these skills. What are some of the skills that this job requires that I'm not quite sure about? And so it's going to come back and ask me a question to clarify some things that it's not quite sure about, but are really important for this job description. And that's called human in the loop, and that's kind of a nice thing to have for generative AI because it's not perfect yet. So by giving you a choice and some feedback into it, it helps improve the output. I've used some other tailoring resume bots, and it will, for example, if For example, if it has Amazon Bedrock in the job description, it will try to just throw it in my resume to make it work, even though I don't have Amazon Bedrock experience. So what this does is basically prevents it from kind of hallucinating your resume and making it more accurate. So I do not have actually Amazon Bedrock, so I'm gonna say no. I could learn it, but I'm gonna say no. Amazon Lambda, yes, I've used. Not very much though. I'd definitely say I'm torn between beginner and intermediate. I'll say intermediate. AWS SageMaker, that's a data science platform. I'm saying just I'm basic at it, but it's like Jupyter Notebooks, so I'll say intermediate. AWS ecosystem, EC2, I know SageMaker, I guess are kind of the intermediate stuff. Transformer models, GPT, BERT, T5 or similar. Yes, I've been using them for like 4 or 5 years now. I'll go advanced, and I'll submit my answers. Okay, so now after my clarification, it's going to take that feedback and it's going to try to help write better work experiences for me, write a professional summary, and suggest skills to add or delete here. Since I don't have any skills in here right now, it shouldn't ask to delete many, but I think there's like a little work I need to do where it always scans my skill section and always recommends the same skills to delete. So I think I gotta work on that. So like I said, there's just a few more user flow experiences I gotta kind of fix before I'm ready for beta testing, but I think overall the features are pretty much there. I just have to, make it a little better. So what this is doing here is it gives you different suggestions for things. And one of this first suggestion is to actually reorder your sections. So like if you're talking to a recruiter, the recruiter will be like, you should put projects ahead of work experience because your projects is more relevant to this job description. So that's what this is kind of doing. So it's, it gave me some sort of analysis of, what this job is and why I should change things. And then I can click accept and it will change the order of things. So right now, for example, education's up here. Watch, it's going to become last. And work experience stayed up at the top. We moved projects up. Skill experience went up and education went down. So we don't have a professional summary right now. So this is writing a professional summary for us. So I'll click accept. And again, you can go in and change these if you want. You want to write this yourself like that. Maybe we can work on that. Maybe spell check in there at some point because I screw up. But anyways, you probably don't need to change that much. Oh, did you see what it says here? So remember earlier on I said, yes, I do have skills in the AWS ecosystem. Amazon Bedrock, Lambda, SageMaker, that was one of the questions. But earlier I said I don't have a lot of experience in Amazon Bedrock. So that's why this is kind of being thrown in here, because there was one skill that grouped them all together. And then there was another skill that was specific to this. So it put the grouped one in here. I'm okay with that. I mean, if I didn't want it, I could just delete it like that. But I'll leave it in there. I mean, Amazon Bedrock is just like a UI version of using an LM for prompting. It's not hard to learn. All right, so it's suggesting now some skills I can remove. So, like I have Azure here right now, and it's saying on this job description, Azure was not a good skill to have because we're working on AWS, not Azure. So you should remove it. So I'm gonna click remove it, and it should be removed there. So that takes away some of the noise. Java was not mentioned. You should get rid of that one. Okay. All right. It said Python was okay. Now we're up to AWS experience. So now it's gonna tailor our resume to probably be more AWS experience oriented because this is a job more AWS oriented. So if I go look at this job description where it says architected and delivered, I think eventually I would like to have this kind of highlighted as I change it. But for now, that's kind of window dressing. I need to get this working well before I worry about this kind of stuff being highlighted. So it's just recommending I change that. So I'm gonna click OK and see it change that for me. And then this one too. So this would be engineered and deployed, designed and deployed as scalable machine learning pipelines. General focusing on model evaluation. So what you're seeing here is like this is the words being removed, and these are the words being added. So red removed, green adding, and then obviously this lighter red is the old, and then the lighter green is the new. So we're gonna click, I'm just gonna go through these and click accept to get over this real fast, and then, you know, more. Now one of the, see there's like little things I still gotta fix. One of the things is it throws in all these numbers here, because when we did the skills, it said I had 5 years of this and 4 years of that and blah blah blah. So it's throwing it in there to be precise, but I don't like that. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me what you think. I don't really like the years in there, but that's up to debate. And then this one too. And I think it's recommending I fix this one. Fixing this one too. So it's helping me fix a lot of them. There. Okay, so recommended 10 suggestions. So now we're done. And so now we're, in theory, we have a decent resume that we maybe want to submit. So when I'm ready for that, I was just looking at these skills. I don't like that there's not enough skills down here. So, and I was just thinking, man, what if I wanted to type some in here? So I think I need to add like a feature here where you could like add your own, but these are the kind of things that I learn as I use it, right? So I think in the future it'd be nice that you can add one right here on this page. We just don't have that ability right now. We can delete, we can add. All right, so the feature I wanted to show you though is, okay, we're gonna save this. Okay, just to be safe, it's saved. Copy, like I said, we're gonna get rid of. I think we're not gonna have that. And then I'm gonna do export. And now it's exporting to PDF. Now this is actually quite a challenge. I was surprised by this. It's not easy to take this, which is actually a type of programming language on the internet called React, and converting it to a PDF document. There is no like one for one where it just automatically translate. It's like a wholly different type of programming system. So it's like you're translating Chinese to English, right? So there's a lot of things that get lost in translation. So we had to make a new type of process in the back end to actually export this. And it's not even doing it perfectly, but it's doing it a lot better than it was. It's not getting my picture, but it's doing pretty good. So we're gonna open that one up, and I'll pull it over here. And you can see that it's formatting it pretty nice. Like I said, it's missing my picture. That's window dressing, I'll fix that. But what's nice is it's got the professional summary here, the work experience. It's all laid out cleanly. I don't like this space right here, but I know why it's doing it. It's doing it because this is all supposed to be together. And if it's all up here, it's like half of it's going to be up here and half of it's not. So we'll work on that. It's getting better at knowing when to break these apart. So that's why it's doing it though, because all of this space right here won't fit up here. So to keep all of this together, it moved it down. But I think it'd be probably better for like a resume not to have all this space. Maybe just have one of these bullet points here instead. So that's something I'll work on. Then, but you have like a 2-page resume here, and it looks nice and formatted. These hyperlinks even work. So you can, they can hyperlink to it. So what I'm also thinking about doing is adding like a feedback here in the bottom, or in the like a feedback for the recruiter to actually click on it and provide some sort of feedback to you about your resume. I think that'd be kind of nice, and try to make it anonymous in some way, hopefully. But that would be really nice to have, because this is digital. I mean, you can't print it, that's the goal, but these days you'll probably send it digitally to people mostly. And you can put like some sort of link here for them to click on it. It would somehow have a record of this resume that you sent, and this recruiter could provide feedback to you on how to make it better or something. I got to think of that a little more, but I'd like to have some sort of feedback loop from the recruiter or the employment back to you. I think that's a missing component on a lot of these resumes. So that's the main parts though. So you can see that you can export it now. It's exported pretty nicely. Got a little more work to do. I probably have a little more work to here. I don't think for the beta I'm gonna actually have this area like change here. In the future, what will happen is what's happening here in the chat window will actually happen here. Like you'll see the red and the green overlaid here rather than over here, just because that's a better UI experience. But that's hard to do and it's hard to change. So it's easier for me to keep everything right now in the chat window in order for me to change things quickly. And then when I feel like I get this really well optimized, there's still a few things here I'd like to improve. Then I'd probably in the future add the red and the green over here so you can see the difference here rather than over here. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Just want to give you a quick rundown, and hopefully some of you that requested the beta access, I can give you access in a couple weeks. I'm hoping to get this, like I'm using this personally myself this week, and then I'll figure out like, oh, I need to add skills here, and then I'll add a few more things, make sure it's working a little better, and then I'll push it to production, and then you guys will have like a basic website to use it, and then you can try it out and give me some feedback. So hopefully you're excited to use it. I know it's going to save me a lot of time, and I hope it saves you all a lot of time too. Take care. Bye.